Hello again on this wonderful Sunday evening. So let me just show you right now that I am working on my backlog of videos that I also kind of have found time to play my X and Y a bit. So I started also working at the features on ideas since I haven't been able to get the on the 3DS. I haven't been able to get the Wi-Fi set up just yet on it. But I got as far as actually saying that my first connection, which is my library, is going to be in my 3DS information right now, but I actually could not get a connection. But anyway, let's also got some music on here, so I'm just gonna go back. Sorry, this kind of had to give me a sense. And okay, so the brightness on this thing is a bit off, so just gonna have to bear with me. And okay, so while I'm doing this, so that is just to show you that right now I am indeed enjoying my Pokemon Y game. How I'm still using the Xerneas and Veltal all 3DS case, even though I couldn't get the special DS, and I think I was able to get talked down to just getting Y and also getting X later, since I also don't know. I like Veltal. I think I like both the starters of the. Not the starters. The legendaries of Kalos just fine. Also, quite enjoying Kalos, my journey to Kalos so far, and given how I'm yes, I am Matthew. That I'm also managed to change my clothes quite quickly, since kind of how a hat looks a bit more normal and less. And I'm only going to be wearing the jacket when it's colder out, at night. And regarding the 3D stuff, yeah, kind of a lot of glares, kind of hard to film this. So I often, when I'm feeling tired, or if I'm not feeling well, I just don't have to read it off. But usually all I need is 50% capacity, and I'm good. So definitely not gonna be one of those videos where it's gonna be I'm just thinking out loud, and it's a top of title. I'm going to talk about this because as the game has gone, because they also in Japan also the new just ignore that, the new series of the anime has started. The main one on Pokemon XY. I also had a preview after the Genesis movie will be about a week or two ago. Pokemon XY the series is in the States. So once again follows Ash and Pikachu picking up turning the journey in Kalos, was featuring that being escorted there by Alexa, and seems I actually kind of seeing the first two episodes heard both subtitled and dubbed, and also the third heard subtitled episode, since noticed that because of Origins, and going to be bringing that up since people are getting a lot faster about something, so I kind of have to just kind of not watch it, because often they're not up, because it used to just be the kind of lagging rolls, but now they're not even up long enough for them to be kind of involved much longer. So anyway, let's just keep talking, since there's the it's just my old lady calling dogs, and yep. So just the usual dogs, always kind of being our dogs and anyway, the fur that's I actually like that one fine, even though I haven't decided to train it yet, and I haven't got on my guarantee to get the Lola and the Bugs Bumblebee, and I'm breeding them, and if you'll give the parlance of the obvious thing, just kind of I'm just gonna keep talking, and my headphone just fell over, so my shoe and yeah. So you can tell I am trying my best to balance my channel and my blog. Now that I have started another one because of a project I'm doing for Media Society, and also it's definitely giving me a lot more drive. Just my whole class giving me more drive to do my channel now. Maybe doing fewer videos, but those ones I am doing are longer and more detailed, and also giving me a lot more to speak my mind about, since kind of been studying quite a bit. Pretty much every bit of time that's not going into studying or getting further in X and Y is going to be going towards doing this, and since as long as I can find it. So I can say that my early reaction to the XY series is quite positive. That noticing that much like with every event and every series, new season that not new series that do to promote the games, that you might like. I mean, it's definitely going to rely to some extent on having seen some of all the previous series, but the good thing about the whole thing being since you can definitely follow it even if you haven't seen it in anything before, because it kind of references past events and I encourage people to promote. So, and regarding Origins, that much like that I'm just going to tell you what I thought from the. I'm just seeing that sneak peek, but since I'm not going to officially start reviewing it until it comes on later here this year, and since they got to finish special stall since I'm gonna be and so actually I've seen the Raws how's the best wishes really, and I was kind of quite satisfied with it since I was very satisfied with all the best wishes since it's very optimistic, very he not afraid to get dark as well since episode ends a great example of that, and I really recommend that one as well since yeah. And regarding the whole thing with Sade and Special and all given all and because and say that yes, of course, is bringing up the whole Rivers Ash argument again. So, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring, as it were, on this whole thing. So, I personally think you're capable of making more than one character and more than one adaptation in it as well. Since I personally find it odd that just keep comparing the two, since that pretty much every argument I've seen of me that just make everything clearly one-sided on both of them. Since I think there is definitely a template for some arguments there, but the way they approach this kind of like just taking one character actually getting the spotlight as an opportunity to disparage another, but I clearly that I find comparing Origins to the main series, which can clearly be meant with very different mindsets, and that you have to kind of adapt to those mindsets when you're viewing them as well, in a sense. And also, a lot of the reason why I started this channel, and also this uploading on doing these reviews and also Pokemon videos, that I find it odd that they're kind of not just mocking the main anime, its characters, namely Ash, and also its newer characters in particular. And also, I like and for liking qualities that creators clearly do not intend for them to have at all. Since I personally would not judge the XY series obviously the same way I would One Piece or a couple of the other 2013 series. I started just like I'm gonna be doing. I just kind of test on because doing the first impression series because it's gonna be. I don't start a kill lock kill, which is kind of like spiritual success to my favorite anime going longer because it's made a lot the same animators and various that trigger. I'm gonna talk about more of that later. Also, second one, Blaze Blue Ultimately, which is based on the another fighting game, which is very over the top, very crazy. I'm supposedly the story is kind of hard to follow, but I like the visuals are very entertaining. Also, kind of but anyway, let's focus on Pokemon for now, since yep. I also noticed that it's gonna be leading this cow because I say, hey, but it's pretty much boils down to just standing arguments about Ash was a master, Red was kind of master and gung ho, but Red called him 150, Ash did not, and so. But clearly, that's actually just kind of scratching surface of how characters are portrayed. So let's give you some examples of how, because while another class talked about in films is how different characters have portrayed different ways in movies. So he's in. So also works adapted from other movies, TV shows adapted from other works. So, and since my next phase, neurodiversity, apart from, of course, putting away the Pokemon stuff off more, but so let's focus on superheroes for now. So let's start with Batman. I'm going to be showing you the first major hit one stuck out of me, the Michael Keaton version. So you notice that a few things there because it's just notice the general black body and also the bat symbol on the chest kind of more stylized than usual and because of the whole thing, but And also, the Black Body was kind of strange adaptation to use that since it was after Dark Knight Returns was first published, and then so people were worried about that because not only because of that change, but also because as Keaton, he was pretty known for comedic roles at that time, and also because he didn't really have the familiar jawline that was needed to play a character like Batman, but let's just say many naysayers promptly ate crow once they actually saw him in action. That not only could he play Batman very well, the way he was able to fight the Joker and all his minions, that he's also able to play Bruce Wayne very well, because you have to consider this all, is because whenever an actor is cast as Batman, not just playing Batman, having to put on the iconic cape and cowl, they would have to also be able to play Bruce Wayne. They'd be able to play the character well, portray that fact they were able to. That audience will spend disbelief the fact that this is a man who grew up and rose up from his parents being murdered in front of him, having to find the courage to who not only take control of his parents' company once he comes of age, but also in tumbled of it as a successful billionaire, head of a company, and also kind of a suave ladies man, but also a superhero that can believably look badass as when he dresses up like a bat. Because, and he is, I believe I said before, it might be where the Batman views, who's that I prefer dark Batman adaptations to campy ones, but if you can have a blend of the two, since premise is definitely understandably silly, much like Pokémon is, and so we're going with next Batman here. And next is one that I think many are familiar with, also one of my favorites. Well, that's the Batman and Batman the Animated Series, the very first entry in the DC animated universe, and also when it considered to be the gold standard most for any subsequent Batman cartoons. How not only did it think origins, and also both to an extent to the main series, that even though that generally, even though franchise in general is meant for kids, that no matter who your audience is, whether it's children or adults, I think you should take your audience seriously, and that I think that Pokemon is generally sees better in that regard than most other franchises, its competitors. Like, you could say it's done much better in that regard than Bakugan or Redakai has. I mean, don't get me started on those. I'll open up with that again. But okay, Batman the Animated Series, since that often aired on Kids WB, he can sing blog of Pokemon, and also I'm definitely glad I got to experience that, since I saw most of the original Series 1 was reruns, but New Batman Adventures also has the new art style kind of match whole style change to, but even though it does have its ups and downs, that stories are generally very good, and animation's incredible, and because it's just kind of treat also and Batman Beyond, that I liked that when I was young, but I knew even then that Batman the Animated is super hard actor. But now I think watching reruns Cartoon Network and on the Hub now, definitely I think it's even Batman Beyond's even better than I remember, and also the Batman Animated Series as a whole, since I'm sorry, but generally in order to talk about Pokemon, I also have to talk about things that also like in addition to that since I generally do not put all my eggs in one basket. That just call me Two Basket Steven. Even yes, my real name is Steven. That might be interesting. That might be because might finally catch on to the. Never mind, it's never time. But Kevin Conroy, his voice, that voice, it just managed to make Batman sound incredible on that, and definitely say he's one of the higher ups on most of my favorite Batman ones. So anyway, let's keep going, and the next one's where it gets weird. Now you see the Val Kilmer Batman from Batman Forever, which is kind of where the campiness started, and also so that because of some for reason that definitely tried to be more carefully, since they have a lot more colorful sets and had some costumes, more elaborate gadgets, and more over the top action scenes and acting. That also the villain's definitely not hammier, so definitely has some Adam West stuff to it, but don't particularly care for Adam West stories that much, but it does have some impact sense. And Kilmer, even though he's kind of hit or miss as an actor, in my opinion, in that for every Ghost of Darkness or Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, you have Batman Forever, let's say, since he tried his best to give a good performance, but he just didn't stick out at me as that's because even though I could play Batman right, he just kind of just felt off as Bruce Wayne because, yes, isn't. That's actually the least ridiculous because actually the copies and the nipples kind of, and that definitely helped that he could do his own stunts in the fight scenes as well, so that's a plus for me. That when an actor is capable of doing their own stunts, like, that's why I like Ray Park so much, because why it also helps why many people still like his roles as Darth Maul and Snake Guy so much, so anyway, now we're getting into other darker sides. Now, Clooney, so have the... He tried his best, and he's a good actor, he was able to cover the whole thing, but the damage was done by the time, since just gotten to the point where, at this point, when the last cut I talked about how Forever was maybe been campier than the first two movies, but it still took itself relatively serious, but this Batman and Robin is definitely considered by almost everyone not to be the nadir of the franchise, and also maybe perhaps the entire genre of comic book movies. That's Marvel pretty much said, and also obviously has said that, not just X-Men said, that's for example how it just shown how they just can't make crap and people like it. I mean, that's pretty much said that we can't keep doing this. I mean, we have to take the material seriously if we're going to make a good adaptation. So, definitely glad that, I think simply say that Pokemon, both the current anime and also looking back on also watching stuff I haven't seen as much, I mean, it's both and Origins, and definitely say it's definitely good since, because this whole thing, and since, and you're probably the kid more than liking more than one Pokemon trainer, that my answer to my chip in with the whole debate is that how just step outside parameters because there are others since Gold. I like him since he's definitely reading the Gold Hold, Silver, and Historic. He's a hard manager who was playing my own copies of Gold and Silver, and also since just wearing all these clothes like the kind of the heavy kind of hooded sweaters, the hats, it's kind of the whole kind of flashy looking sneakers, and also this playing him shooting pool and skateboarding like your Mighty Like Fly. I mean, yep. And also but really enjoying Back to the Future. So some of my favorite movies, also Mighty McFly, and also since my favorite characters in general, since there's like his whole attitude, and also he's able to just rise to the occasion like that, and also stand up to people, and since also I think my ideal hero would be like a blend of Ash and Red. That gonna be getting into that more, but and said before that I don't actually read special because I don't actually own any of the book collections of it, so that they're pretty good at putting up. The family's pretty good at putting up, but since I think it's safe to say that gonna be say Illustrated Go Pikachu is my favorite manga adaptations. That since it's like the best of both worlds. Not just of both worlds, but also of many worlds. Like this one. This would be my blueprint for a Pokemon adaptation that I would like to make someday, that if I get a chance to that. Goodbye, and that's what Origins already did, because actually he managed to satisfy fans of all kinds of the games, anime, manga, and even those who had quite possibly never been exposed to previous Pokemon 2 in their life, that how, much like the franchise, as a whole, it's kind of like Star Wars, or not just the Avengers, but also entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, because people decided that yes, we really like that you gave us this Origins, so we want more. So I believe they say the outdoors say asking shall receive. That's given. I mean, since another thing I watched last night was Legend of Korra, since I watched the first Avatar special, and pretty good, but I'm gonna be finished catching up my backlog on Korra views, since 1 week break definitely gave me some time to work on them, and thankfully, yeah, I'm just kind of thinking out loud since I'm kind of tired, because I've been playing X and Y. Why do I keep saying that? Because I'm playing apparently Y, since I still plan on getting a copy of X when I get the extra $40 for it, and some of my other stuff with 3DS games, and so I'd have to say my next big one after X and Y would be Zelda Link Between Worlds, but that's not the point right now. But let's just tell Pikachu Ash has me. Let's flip through this one. So that's how definitely how is how that like I also see things over there, and also that main anime is how that they try to write that how they don't know how to make yet. Even though like people like to portray them as superheroes, I keep pointing out Batman as an example, but I'm just gonna be showing Superman one because I mean it. Once I have finished with all my backlog, and when I will be, I am starting my Superman movie marathon to kick off their celebrity DVDs for the Man of Steel. Hold on. So, and definitely the fact that Howard, dude, but just gonna keep talking this since both of them have. I gotta get to just start this off since think since Red had was the inspiration for in the Hash Original games that before they've been adapted into the media because that's what they did had with Origin Story. It was just treating like Pokemon had never been adapted into any other media before that. Like essentially what they did with the new Star Trek from 2009. That what they did with Man of Steel and the Nolan Batman movies. That it's like a clean slate just to do the material they would want to make, and also just to give something that people will enjoy as a whole. That try and satisfy both fans, also casual viewers as well. All that, and they succeeded in that sense, and it's definitely even more so than the original than the current anime. But even though I definitely act like XY in the beginning of that, since it's gonna be so. To wrap up my Batman comparisons, let's go with to compare just one more, and I think you know what's coming. You definitely do. Last big one is the Dark Knight Batman, which is in the Batman Dark Knight saga, which had such a great reception. How he managed not only portray the character well, how when Nolan got him on there, but also how portray the character in the comics very accurately. How some of the key summaries is that including Dark Knight Rises, also some of the ones I've been interested in reading because of that the whole thing, but to believe that I think an adaptation, even if it's really good, just makes you want to check other aspects of our past ones. Says personally, I'm still watching some of the older episodes, and also just not just the ones I'm familiar with, but have on my hard drive, but also I'm gonna watch a lot of the old ones, and just to compare and contrast at how main sense. Another thing is how different time periods also call for different ideals, also how characters, how sense, and it's definitely still this, and I definitely can say that how both Red and Ash has to go in their own ways, how they use how so that both generally do care about Pokemon, how that they do make friends with their Pokemon, their trainers, how that they love that they always prepared to do the right thing that and they love their Pokemon with all their hearts. That believe that's the type of hero that you should be now. You can look at I have accepted both as one of those since I can relate to since not much is known about Ash's father nor and Red actually especially seeing this sub, so I haven't finished it actually subbed but since version of the Red part of the special since and but he named his Pokemon he chose Charmander because it was related to his father, because even though his father's knowledge proved my relationship with Pokemon that he accepted it and how he respected how he loved me for who I am, and also how I just love him as well. Since even though I don't see him all the time, even though they pretty much said that both they haven't really mentioned much of they mentioned that Red's father, his mother, kind of makes offhand reference because of how his father was like, and also that it's implied never outright said how Ash's father is, but it's implied he's on his own day since I believe that father does have a very big role in their life, just as my mother does. How that my mother's been very supportive of me. That he and also love of Pokemon for all these years. How it's like every time you start a new quest, that when you wake up in the morning, honey, that's when you that it's actually it does show that you actually wake up in your bed, and also that the kind of fletching wakes you up. How tells you to get dressed, come down for breakfast, go to get your first Pokemon. How definitely very good way to start a story, and since that's how they introduced my character. It's not the male one, and then just face it, I mean, can you imagine me that's playing a physical character on something that's not a fighting game? Since I do it in fighting games because I like to try the roster and just see what I'm good with, but RPGs I like to pick by someone that's my same gender, and but Serena, that's the first big point since don't show Ash right away because they show Serena, that the female companion, and that this fine woman here that the games say she's kind of alright. That I kind of wish I was spending more time with her because this other one, Shauna, is kind of like bubbly, and I'm kind of put off because she's also not very smart. She's kind of an airhead to me, and kind of glad. Hope they don't include her in the show, but and some of my male terms how there's Tiano's kind of like a big guy who likes to dance, and is also kind of dance battler, and so it's also Trevor, the kind of guy with this kid with green clothes and Beatles haircut, as in and he was very analytical, but he actually did not want that. Not it's very strange, but also kind of have to make another video because, but since I gotta have to talk about the game since. Generally, I still watch the show because I like to see how it adapts different stuff in the games, is how what works in one medium, what doesn't. So that's like think every generation just see what works and what doesn't. Also try new things since. 433. I'm enjoying the most notable things. 433 Diagonal, also the rollerblades. So, and the third gym leader, that's Karina. I think I like her, and I wouldn't be surprised if gym it's a roller disco earlier since. Also, that I think I noticed how my DS my 3DS has a music player on it. So, yeah, but I'll just talk about my music later since. Also, since you was noticing my feed, you can try to check my face how I like. It's kind of very easy to what to like, and also, and it's a movie later on. So, Clement. It seems like we have another gym leader, to continue a pattern of being one of Ash's companions. So, I think, okay, of course, Hawk is one that will hold deep in my heart, and much like he's not, and also Origins made him true to the games that, but still, what do you remember that's what's the, I had to kind of say that. It's so funny. He's probably not going to be a horny teacher who never gets any in Origins, and sure enough, he wasn't. But and people love Brock because not only because he do that, but also because he can offer very wise advice on being a breeder and being a trainer in general. How and when he's had his fun and said and done, he becomes a doctor because he's very good at medical treatments. Because I mean, he's often kind of healing a Pokemon when they were even sent with the potions and stuff, and also he was often made makeshift medication even when they didn't have any handy. And Silent, oh yes, Silent. I think people were kind of worried because it was this not Brock was going to be, but people just really gravitated to him because whether he's first by Moriana or Justin Willis, he's just very hammy connoisseur with lots of flair, and his tasting time. Also, he can be a connoisseur pretty much anything. How and also much like Bug Pokemon with Misty, also so Ice Pokemon Iris, he's afraid of Poland. Also, I forgot to mention Brock's instant special A, which I personally think it's best up to your mind, where it should be even more hilarious, and nobody's going to draw this conclusion that let's let you go in since, and how I just love how he's delightful, how he's put so much vigor in his performance, how made it so flamboyant and big that supposedly Memorial Base was drawn to my conclusion, but I told you I don't really care about Oran. I think of Light Yagami, Masumi Kida, Death the Kid. I mean, though, and also one more beyond what stuck up more as me, and gonna come on. I know I've watched other stuff with him in it, but okay, so let's just think about that. So yes, that's pretty good start, and also in the adjacent with us, he was Sonic the Hedgehog, so we know he can play kind of a character like that, and since definitely someone to relate to, and how very good contrast how his game character kind of doesn't have much comments, but also how actually how outgoing Silent was as and Has not definitely, and now Clement, how, sorry, Clement, but kind of since based on France, since Lumio City, it's his gym is in the Lumio's Tower, it's kind of out tower, and how when Ash first gets badge, say you can't have a badge, if you don't have 4 badges, you can't come in, and they actually just sent down the chute, and also hold, like, if it's, I think, imagine how you could use it to get rid of salesman too, how going door to door makes an incredible offer. So I was kind of like designing the whole thing since like a command center of sorts, and also one thing I noticed, because they still have the TV in the games, they can just watch in the center or at someone else's home or your house if you like. And one of the show that keeps up is the Pokémon Ranger, which I thought that when I was just dueling when I was a little younger, but I still kind of do. And the merge is also the Power Rangers, as it calls out, how since I actually have given it since it's gonna be a lot more parodies since there have been ones that passed now since Power Rangers turned 20, and it's kind of like the comfort sense because the whole thing, it's definitely a lot more parody stories since it's celebrating since. The other one looking for is seeing the Comfort Rainbow Laser Force in Grand Theft Auto 5, but that's another time. And there's a lot of crossover art like that, so I also hope there's the one meme where you can actually show a photo in the game, also how then there's some other terms of Sentai high as and Kamen Rider as well, but let's face it, I think most people are familiar with Tokusatsu probably have Power Rangers Gateway since. And that's actually how a friend convinced me to start watching Sentai, because they noticed my photos that said, hey, you should start watching Sentai if you like, and I did, so pretty much that's another thing since when I'm also anticipating more breaks to make for us and working on that as well, but since I'm going to also doing the Power Rangers Rifts in between, so I'm also going to be watching Sentai episode corresponds to the season, also the episodes have frame reference to talk about how what might get changed, what has to be adapted, and so, and I hope they do an episode about that since, and also somehow, since the Kamen Rider episode with Excelco is awesome. I mean, also way back even though I personally don't find JoJo's better, people say, which is going to be my next point in the first impression essence, and but it has even the filler episodes, which took up a lot of shows wrong because of GS Paul being scrapped, were very smooth about how that Glider man, how that nipples are not hot. That was kind of a good way to do the camp stuff, how for the French the elements, how since we're kind of watching and also getting into Justice League, but yeah. Personally, with both Origins and the main anime, that they are both fun. That's why I decided when I turned 21, that I wanted to have some fun with my life now that I'm in my 20s, also kind of looking back on my life and looking ahead to the future as well, that as well as the present, isn't how they're both converging in one sense. Kind of very 90s look since in the game, since people are rollerblading, they kind of talk like it's nice, they dress like it's nice, they're cute, and I'm definitely going to be hoping to get the Build Red's uniform from the games, and also the original one from Red and Blue, since I wasn't a fan of redesigns, partly because I haven't played Fire Red and Leaf Green, and so anyway, let's move along since I'll get a drink of water since I'm sorry, just get really jazzed when I talk about Pokemon lately since it's like it's feel like okay, so let's stop for a moment. Now where was I? Oh yes. Just the same first few episodes, and also the characters as well. So, also Bonnie. This time is kind of like an inversion of the whole thing with Advance, because in Advance, that May was kind of the girl that was around Ash's age, and a certain and was kind of insufferable little words I'm trying not to say because of me. Yeah, kind of feeling under the weather lately, and also trying to keep things kind of under PG lately, since could be potentially getting any could affect my schoolwork and also maybe getting a job soon. And anyway, but I think it works better this way since Claremont is actually a trainer, and how he's got this kind of flight suit like the Ghostbusters or also kind of like a brief companion stalking, which in some regards also got this backpack like he does in the games, how his arms are kind of like Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man, and then also also invents these gadgets to also kind of work on things. How I love those kind of characters when they kind of just like your tinker when they and build things that help in like say Donatello, how the Ninja Turtles, that Wheeljack Transformers, who's in also that the other one and that kind of comes up. Crap, I just forgot. But in a way, you also kind of see elements of characters like he's kind of like Billy in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. How he's this kind of in the blue clothes, but also kind of like he's got this head, the algo personality. But even though he's kind of just kind of a bad fighting first, he gets to be a better fighter. Of course, the show and also comes very valuable in his technical skills throughout. So even though some inventions don't work like a lot of them do, so looking forward to battling him in the games. And now Serena, since they kind of made her kind of combine Shauna and Serena's characters, but thankfully not only I guess me a good character, but also reminds me of another Serena that, of course, Sailor Moon. That's the iconic character that watched it. I think I watched it first time when I was about 5 or so, and how that she was very much like, even though she kind of behaved like a real teenager, and sometimes how she often just wasn't the best student, and sometimes she wanted to go play video games, just hang out with her friends. That's trying to impress hysteric when and so. But whenever he became the Sailor Moon, the transformation that outfit, but also she was very good at it. That it's a big impressive fighter over the course of the show, and how I definitely see her as one of the ideal female role models at the time. Also that many respects she was like that generation's Black Widow, Katniss Everdeen, and how a strong woman that it does have flaws, but gotta be willing to part that not bad, but that they keep on holding on and they do not need rescuing. How that's the thing, that you can make a character strong, but you have to make them flawed, since make them perfect, then they're not really that interesting of characters. How since they need to lose that how there's a variant. There's a lot of images how, but there's one symbol to how that fact how the reason for the whole thing where whether it's no matter who it might be, that I think he's definitely on that Ash, and that it's just teaching kids that it's okay to lose. How say I personally have actually been surprised with difficulty since I haven't lost quite yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. But actually, I mean, Black 2, my 2 as I can't spend so much time fighting Alice when she became champion. How that took a lot of game. How so there's definitely kind of system in the main series is just kind of weird. How so it's I like a lot of stuff about the series in general, but Origins definitely much truer to games, but definitely to respect. So another big point that analogy coming up with most often with is that if the main anime right now, how it's in this new season in Japan, is like the Anime West Batman, then Origins like the Dark Knight. So like the main anime that has some dark elements, but mostly very campy, kid-friendly, only cartoony, and also very often formulaic in story structure as well. But then it kind of really gives appeal to many, and also the appeal of Origins works a different way, since Dark Knight is very dark, gothic, has all sorts of commentary, also very realistic, and also very since I mean, not only is the whole thing with the meme where Charmander got hit bit on the cheek by Squirtle, how it just yells in pain, and that also that I salute who the team, the various animes are given, particularly the first anime version of Team Rocket's Murder Marowak, that how I mean the original Pokemon on the first was on the first episode to make me cry. When I was young, how first TV show, and also for one of the first TV shows to make me cry. It was inspired by Butterfree, which I get into, and the viewers how it was Beast Wars. It's first Transformers I ever watched, and how Dinobot's death, how he sacrificed himself to help to stop Megatron from taking out the proto-humans, also getting the information Golden Discs, how and he goes out of Quincy's versus spark goes cold in his eyes and light fades from his eyes. That playing that quote from to sorry, just at Maillock's death when the spirit was rested and confronts him in the lavender tower that at the Pokemon Tower that tell my those were here and not honor my memory may end, not may so me judge accordingly. The rest is silence. And so definitely say that general plot of the origins, definitely that I'll talk about more of that since it's important, and definitely since since it's gonna be it's a 4-part special, so they're gonna be reviewing it in all 4 parts of it. It's gonna be Red, Mid, Cubone, Giovanni, and Charizard, since a few more elements they're gonna talk about before just start wrapping this whole thing up. There's a bit of milk here that yes, and of course with the Team Rocket still back to being goofballs that, but then again they can still kind of hold their own since now Wobbuffet has returned, since I kind of won that pool. I kind of expected that he might be coming back soon, but and yes, he still does it. And even though Lucky Tom turned out fine with Jesse, I think some of the biggest comedy value that's gotten in this series has been from Wobbuffet. So I personally hope they bring back some other stuff, like even though that now Giovanni is kind of wearing this business suit, which is kind of just normal colors, but I think it actually be improvement since I think the whole, and also especially how in Origins they made him wear kind of this more game maker suit, how that orange number was very gaudy. That I mean, despite how, but the action scenes are very good. How the animation has gotten very nice in both scenes. How some of the best animation I've seen in the series in years. I mean, and possibly ever. I mean, that includes best words. I mean, it's like, and the whole plot where Ash just gets a clear Kalos, host Professor Sycamore, and also the Mega Evolutions were showcased very well since Mega Blaziken and looks very great, and also that there's another hero since it's going to be setting up since kind of like it's a writer, but I also have my step for get my torch with my Mega Stone, and let's face it, I mean, even though it's just kind of let's face it, you know it's going to be Mega Stone since, and they've actually publicized that since, but and since they have a long time to get up, I'm going to try and get my wife stuff and do it as soon as I can, and so definitely since I safely say I'm gonna be watching both the Origins when it gets dubbed on stream Pokemon TV, and also XY officially starts airing after Best Wishes is finished. And mostly gonna be reviewing Genesis movie around in December when it comes out on DVD, and so definitely say that I'm going to be enjoying both. That once I officially review them, since definitely say allowed to like more than one adaptation since. It's gonna be closing out soon. I had more stuff planned, but I'm running low since the whole Rand's video against PETA for their game turned out to be much longer than I thought. And also, I actually like to enjoy talking about things I like and I hate. But if something angers me, then I'm not afraid to be reminded about now that just say that it's okay to like more than one adaptation and more than one character that you can unlike anything my whole thing behind the launch of the global launch of X and Y, how far the franchise has come. That when I was on my way to get the game, how my mom told me that it all started with a few figures. There's a copy of Yellow, a Game Boy, and a couple tapes. Now I've evolved into something much bigger. How I'm not afraid to wear my stuff off in public anymore, and how just let it fly. And I haven't seen the first one of the other launches yet, but the one in New York was amazing. How just keep looking for people wearing all the color stuff and getting decked out. How in costume, our favorite trainers of Pokemon. How just partying, every age background, and Asian background there. People at one level even got engaged. Like it's like going to a Klingon wedding or seeing a Star Wars wedding somewhere, because how, or superhero wedding, because that's pretty much how it's become. It's like, it's become as big as Star Wars, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, that since my Obi-Wan lightsaber and also my Halloween costume, that since I couldn't find Zod, I'm going to be Iron Patriot, and let me say that XY definitely, I'm looking forward to see what can be done in that, and definitely a big guilty pleasure of mine, since one of the anime series I'm following most often along with One Piece, and now the other ones like Kill la Kill and Blaze Blue Ultramarine is going to be talking about more of that stuff I've seen. Generally about 3 episodes a minimum I can watch, but I'll try and talk about some of the other unless it really turns me off by future later. But to me, I think that's how it could work with Origins if they would decide to make more special, since you'll get one spoiler that at the end it's setting up Mew, who, and how kind of whole the adventure continues, and how like Doc saying Marty needs to come back to the future about his kids, and it's like Luke getting a new hand, having to find Hanzo and stop being part once and for all. Spock being found after the search and having to and the adventure continues, that whole thing. How that's a sequel could be effective, but since a very big success, big smash, that might make more. So, like I think Star Wars trilogy. I mean, even though it's for prequels, I mean, don't have any original trilogies like this. It was Marvel Cinematic Universe become more powerful, since like you could set up characters that people have probably heard of but never seen in action really, but so be open to seeing special of the other characters like the Gold, Silver, Ruby and Sapphire, and Diamond, Pearl, Black and White, and just keep going. So I believe that Star Wars, hers Dark Knight Saga, and most of them have just simply changed movies for the better, and also franchises for the better, since they encourage people to wear the nerdom on their sleeve and publicly admit they like liking stuff, and also how, I mean, I used to be bullied for liking stuff, and now I can openly admit to wearing stuff in public, and also that. So, just consider all this, since you can draw whatever conclusions you like. My conclusion is that I can like what characters not find a good parents balance sense. So, I noticed that Red felt bad about losing Green the first time, and also how it has something like turning the hair backwards and stuff, and just keep people quiet. So I think both series, like the whole franchise, like big thing. So I think it's probably the biggest fan I've been a part of. How even though disagreements and different ways to come into it, how I can say that the whole goal launch signifies the unity that has come so far. How I can definitely say that you're my best friend and we'll must defend, and I definitely say I want to keep on being the very best like no one there was. Casper's a real test, Trina's a cause. We'll travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Just Pokemon. And it's see you later, and gotta catch 'em all.